Are you one of those people that, I don't know, maybe you saw me at the gym or at Cora's restaurant, muscle testing, and thinking, what is he doing? Or have you been watching the Bro Show for the last 115 episodes and know that John and I are doing some really important work using muscle testing? Or are you one of those people and said, I'd like to learn it, but I'm not really a practitioner and I don't know why I'd want to? Well, guess what? Today you're going to know why you're going to want to, because John and I are going to teach you a simple form of muscle testing for two reasons. I'm going to tell you that as soon as we welcome our co-host, John. Good morning, John. Well, first, my name is Michael Loge. I live in beautiful Victoria, BC on the west coast of Canada, and I'm the other half of the Motion Code Bros Show. And let's welcome John in.
Hello, yes, my name is John Inverarity, Certified Emotion Code Practitioner and Certified Body Code Practitioner here in Vancouver, Canada. And yeah, I'm really excited about this little training we're doing about muscle testing. I get questions all the time. I see posts in other forums about muscle testing. So we're going to get right to it and get some really, really good tips for you guys.
That's great. Well, good stuff.
Yeah.
So here's our goal today. First is that we want to teach those of you that aren't practitioners and you're thinking, well, I don't have any need to learn how to do it. Hashtag yes, you do. Because today I'm going to teach you through muscle testing how to eliminate and reduce your own anxiety. You don't have to be a practitioner. You just need to know how to muscle test. You're going to learn that. So if you thought you were just going to watch the show, you better go get a glass of water because you're going to need to be hydrated. That's why you want to learn how to do this. And for practitioners, I'm going to show you, and John and I, maybe a technique that you haven't seen before, and something else that could really add some value to your practice. And that value, of course, is kind of learning how to speed muscle test. So we're going to cover both of those today. So John, why don't you explain what is muscle testing for the people that like to kind of understand the science behind it. So we're going to start off with, what is muscle testing? Go ahead.
Yeah, muscle testing is a diagnostic system for evaluating the body's function and overall health and balance of our bodies. So it's a form of biofeedback that requires no high-tech frequency or high-tech machinery. And we use muscle testing to verify our intuition. So, and you know what, we don't like to just trust our intuition alone, as it can be faulty based on hidden internal programming that we have received. So that's it. Just short and sweet there. That is muscle testing.
Yeah, that's right. And in my, when I'm talking to other people about muscle testing, I always get them to say this to themselves. And I don't know if it needs to be said, but you know how our subconscious mind remembers everything. So I always say to this, I'm making an agreement with my body to show me by locking up my finger muscles when it's a yes, and let them go weak when it's a no. It's just like a one-time program in my mind, right? So there's no confusion about what I'm looking for. So if you're watching, you might want to say that. Say, subconscious mind, lock my fingers when it's yes and let it go when it's a no. There, you installed that. So now, as you learn to muscle test today, that'll be already pre-programmed for you. So good. So John, first thing I want to talk about is there's many different methods. Some people use a pendulum. Some people use a sway test. You keep your hands low and you twist your fingers, and there's lots of different things people do. So today, I'm going to show them just a technique that's kind of easy to show because I can do it close up to the screen, and one that you can practice and hopefully get good. So first, we're going to use muscle testing where I want you to think about this as a drawbridge. In other words, your thumb, you're not pinching. See how my thumb's moving up and down? That doesn't happen in my style. I keep the thumb straight. And this here is a drawbridge. This finger is a drawbridge. That's all. So the thumb never moves. I'm going to put this other finger in. I'm going to attempt to slide all the way through. See, the drawbridge is staying closed, so that's a yes. So I'll ask this question. Am I Michael? Yes. Am I John? As soon as I say that, the muscles in the top get weak. And then people say, well, how do I know if I'm pinching too tight or pinching too slow? So I want you to imagine or even get a grain of rice and put a grain of rice in between there. So you're not squeezing it and you're not letting it roll. You could even be open a little bit. And then put the finger in here and attempt to slide to the edge. What I like to do is teaching people is just to ask, well, first, Sean, what kind of questions can we ask?
Yes and no based questions. So
That's right.
when you're starting, just keep it really simple. And when you're starting, just get a baseline. Just use yes or no, yes or no. And excuse me, you could use also use love or hate. So love, you should be strong, and hate, you'd be weak. So try just those yes and no, love, hate.
Okay. Yeah, so just keep asking the question. So for a starter, first, rule number one, you need to be super hydrated. Oh, you think, oh, I drink lots of water. No, you didn't drink lots of water. So I'm going to drink more water. You drink some more water right now, and we're going to take you to the next step.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so hold your hand in front of you. Keep this bar, the bottom of the bridge, still. Lower the drawbridge, put the finger here, and ask yourself a lot of yes questions, right? Am I Michael? Yes. And then when it's butted up against there, just for practice, say, am I John? In other words, instead of starting back here, you can feel the pressure. Yes, I'm Michael. Am I John? And then you'll say, oh, and then you can, what you all need to know is just to trust that. Thinking, wow, I didn't do that on purpose. That was actually my muscle. And it won't happen on the first time. And you might get frustrated, but let's try that again. Put your finger out, pretend there's a grain of rice. So say, show me a yes, and attempt to push this up, right? Remember the grain of grass, you don't want to let go, grain of rice. So you can say, show me a yes, and it gets stuck. And now with it butted up against there, say, show me a no. And you should just see that drawbridge will collapse a little bit.
Right, yeah. And muscle testing takes practice. So, and you have to become obsessed. So if you're not quite there yet, practice 100 times a day and try that for a month. And with practice comes confidence, and increase your confidence by practicing more.
That's right. You know, if people will say, how long does it take to learn to become an emotion code practitioner? Well, it depends on whether you know how to muscle test or not, you know. Because when I was introduced to emotion code through you, I was already muscle testing other stuff. So, you know, to me, the emotion code is one part muscle testing and the other part the charts and Dr. Brad's work, right?
Yeah.
You can't do one without the other. You can't do emotion code without muscle testing, period. So even if in the back in your head you think, I'd like to do that one day, well, clean the house before the housekeeper comes. In other words, learn how to muscle test now. So when you're taking the training, it's like, now muscle testing. You say, what's that? Don't go in prepared. So that's what we're talking today. So, John, think of a question that we could test. So here's what I want to teach people. So taught them about the drawbridge. So now this is for everybody. Now remember, the job of an emotion code practitioner is to become your proxy. And in being your proxy, they use muscle testing. John and I use muscle testing on your behalf to scan the chart to find out what the emotion is. Now, I'm going to give everybody a little tip at home. Maybe you already know the sensation or feeling of anxiety. You're about to do something, you're feeling anxiety. Now, in order to delete an emotion, you need to identify it. We do that through muscle testing. And once you've identified it, then you can delete it. Remember, the reason why you would hire John and I is for a longer session because we know how to ask the questions. But if you're just thinking, if you're going to muscle test and say, am I feeling anxiety? And your muscles say yes, and then you're going to say, delete this. I have a magnet in my fingers. You're going to say, delete this anxiety. And then you're going to test it. You say, now do I have anxiety? Then you're going to say, what just happened? Just happened is that you use your own muscle testing to identify the emotion that you're feeling. Now, this is funny, John, because a lot of people, when they want to hire us, they'll say they have a lot of stress. You can't take a magnet and delete stress. You know why?
No.
Because it's not on the chart. It's not on the chart. So your subconscious mind says, well, stress is made up of some of those. So today's lesson is learn how to muscle test. So let's walk through that. So again, here's the bridge. Here's the drawbridge. Put the finger in here, and I want to say,
really gentle.
So do I have anxiety? Saying I do. Yes. Do I have lots of anxiety? No. Now, this is for our friends that are practitioners already. Is about doing ranges. And I do ranges for everything. And I do it for two reasons. so I can know how successful I'm being. And so the client can hear the progress, right? Oh, your anxiety was a 10 and now I got it down to a 4. And that's installing the idea, and they're starting to catch up to the idea, and they know that you're doing some work here. So for ranges, I know, so I do have anxiety. So I told my subconscious mind, whenever I do ranges, refer to my chart 0 to 10. I don't have to introduce it every time. It's a program. So doing ranges, it's my anxiety is 0. So again, I'm pushing up against, no, it's not a 0. Is it a 1? No. Right? Is it a 2? No. Oh, it's a 3. Is it a 3? Watch this. I'm going to make it a no answer. Is it a 2? No. So my anxiety is a 3. It's a 3. Okay. Now the next question is it anxiety? Yes, Captain Obvious, it is. So now I can take the magnet and just say, delete this anxiety. John, can you explain to people that might not know about the emotion code what I'm doing right now with the magnet and where I'm placing it?
So the magnet's going over Michael's governing meridian. So it starts just right around the nose there, up over the head, down the back, all the way down to the tailbone. And that magnet amplifies Michael's intention to clear out and release that trapped emotion, that little ball of energy that's stuck in there, that anxiety. So Michael's saying deleting, releasing, transmuting. It's all the same, just different terminology. So that's what's happening there.
So I'm going to, all yes or no questions. So again, I'm going to put my finger in here, off the draw bit. So is my anxiety a 3 now? No. Is it a 2? No. Is it a 1? No. Is it a 0? Imagine your own ability to be able to reduce or eliminate your own anxiety, but you need to identify it. You need to say, subconscious mind, right now I'm working on this anxiety, and then you delete the anxiety, goes with it. Now, practitioners, let's talk about getting ranges. And again, the reason why you want to do that is for progress. Sometimes when I'm mentoring a lot of practitioners and I'm trying to teach them to be efficient, and some of them ask really long questions that take too many words. Say for example, the range, they'll say, is it over 5? No. So watch this. Is it over 5? That's 4 words. Yeah, so it's under 5. Oh, so that's 10 words. What if you just went, is it 1, 2, 3? How many words did that take? 3. So I'm just encouraging practitioners just to go up the scale. Is it 1, 2, 3? Oh, it's a 3. That only took 3 words. Is it 1? No. Is it 2? No. Is it 3? Whatever the answers are. Okay, John, let's just recap what we were doing today. 2 things, reminding people that the reason why they might want to muscle test is so they can identify the emotion on the chart, for example, as anxiety, maybe get a range, find out the severity of it, and delete it themselves. Secondly, we want it for other practitioners to really understand the importance of ranges and why you would want to use a range, and maybe a little bit of shortcut to using ranges before and after the session. So John, you had mentioned something earlier about, well, what if someone at home is still having trouble? Well, hashtag you haven't practiced enough if you're just watching, but maybe after a couple of days they say, John, I'm still having some trouble. What would you suggest?
Yeah, so we went over keeping it gentle, so perform it really lightly and delicately, so not too much force. It's kind of like a dimmer switch if you think about it that way. Yeah. And so there's another tip, hydration, we talked about that. And if you're still having trouble, get grounded and just really, feel your feet into the earth, have faith, trust yourself, and, ask for help. Don't be too proud to ask for divine help from, the universal energy field, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it. And trust yourself and your subconscious. So I'm going to go through these tips really quick here. Try closing your eyes and muscle testing as well. And one thing that people do that kind of throws them off is they're focusing on their fingers a little too much. So focusing on your fingers can create frustration. So what you want to do is just sense the subtle change with your finesse and focus on the question or the person that you're testing on. So when I'm in my sessions with people, I'm focusing on the person, I'm picturing them wherever they are in the world, and I'm, really connecting with them and focusing on them. And, be patient. Yeah.
One thing that I like to do, John, when I get a yes answer and it feels like, oh, that's a solid yes. Sometimes I'll just tell a no answer, just so I can think, okay, good, that was solid yes then. Just kind of testing my work every now and then.
Yeah.
Oh,
A couple more things I have as well. It doesn't
okay,
have to be verbal. So just your thoughts alone about you asking questions in your head.
that's
Try
right.
that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be out loud. And you know what? Ask about imbalances and trapped emotions in the present moment and health related. So not about the future or life decisions,
Yes.
lotto ticket numbers. So you ask about simple things, health related, right? Yeah.
I remember recently I went to buy some shrimp in the grocery store, and there was like 7 kinds, and I didn't, so I used muscle testing to find out which ones would be best for me. And it's
Yeah.
all I did was look at them. I didn't have to eat them. I said, is it this one? I looked at the one bag. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. Oh, it's that one. Okay. So you just learn to
Perfect.
trust
That's
them.
health
Same
related. Yeah.
people in the health food store looking at vitamins, with
Yeah.
the pendulum, I know what they're doing. Hashtag I know
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah. That's the other thing. So if you're still having trouble, try a pendulum. Also, if you're still running into trouble, have a body code or emotion code practitioner work on you. So hire someone to work on you, and we can find trapped emotions and other imbalances that's creating those muscle testing blocks. And another one that Dr. Brad recommends is getting a spinal alignment from a chiropractor. So sometimes, the vertebrae in your neck are out of alignment. That will interfere with your muscle testing as well. And another great tip is to go back to something basic like the sway test, just starting like that. If you're having troubles with your fingers, yeah,
Okay. Well, keep us updated in the comments, and let us know. Say, oh boy, I was so frustrated the first 5 times, and then, let us know because it takes practice. Everything takes practice. So, I know that you'd like to be fast and good, but you have to earn that through experience, like John said, and the more experience you have, more confidence you'll have.
hmm
So let us know in
absolutely.
the comments about what you are experiencing with your muscle testing, and so others can feel the hopefulness as well that they too can be a muscle tester and use it to reduce their own anxiety or to help in their practice. Okay, John, let's say goodbye, and people can check us out on Saturdays at the Emotion Code Bro Show. You can go to hangoutwithmichael.com/bros.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we accomplished our mission today here, our goals of explaining muscle testing to everyone. So thanks for watching, everyone.
Okay.